I've had a pretty good run in the stock market, and I need to give credit where credit is due. As I have told you, I was basically in cash the 1st of March because I was scared of the credit that was being used by corporations and by the world as in general. And I felt that if something happened, the bubble was going to burst, and as it turned out, the bubble did burst. And then I've also told you that I've had issues with what I call my unwanted roommate, and I shared with you how I got rid of that unwanted roommate in my book, Who Are You? Why Are You You? And so I replaced my unwanted roommate with my biggest fan. And as it was, somewhere near the 1st of March, my biggest fan went on vacation, and I had a visit from God, okay? God basically came to me and said, look, Carrie, the world's turned upside down, and it's time you get back into the stock market. And if I would give you, Carrie, ownership of any company that you wanted in the world, what company would it be? And I said, Amazon. And God said, wait a second. Aren't you going to give it any thought? Aren't you going to give it any consideration? We need to have a longer conversation. I said, no, Amazon. I want Amazon. He said, okay, what if I could offer you more companies? Okay, Amazon, Google, Apple, and Facebook. He said, come on, let's talk about this. And I said, no. I said, it's just like a horse race, God. If there's horses running, and I know the past history, and I know who wins and who doesn't, why would I pick a long shot? I want those. And add Microsoft. I want Microsoft too. And God says, damn, you aren't much fun at all. And I said, well, look at it my way. I haven't had the best of life. I mean, I've done well, but these people have done extraordinarily well. I mean, people like Bill Gates built a behemoth, Jeff Bezos, and it just keeps growing his company. Steve Jobs died, but Tim Cook's doing a hell of a job there. And then you've got Sergey Brin and Larry Page, and Google just keeps growing. And then these companies have learned what they're doing and how they're doing it, and they've made gazillions off of the 350 million of us here in the United States, and now they're taking that knowledge and that skill, and they're going to countries like India and Africa, and they're bringing those skills available to those people. God, it's simple. I mean, when Usain Bolt ran the 100-meter dash, you bet on Usain Bolt. There was no consideration, and you bet on him until he said, I'm done. Well, that's what I want. I want to bet on Jeff and Larry and Sergey and Elon. I want to bet on Elon. Add that to it, God. I want some of Tesla too. He said, well, no, there's some people in there that, Gary, that have some real potential. And I said, yeah, and the horse running with 61-1 odds has some potential too. But why would I put my wager on that? I know who's going to win. I know who. When Secretariat ran, I knew Secretariat was going to win. It's just not that hard, God. Come on. It's just not that hard. Well, apparently it is, Carrie, because there's a lot of people who lose a lot of money in the stock market. And I said, yeah, and there's a lot of people who play the slot machines in Las Vegas. But I don't care to do that, God. It's very evident to me. And then, God, I read things. I read this book. It's called The Future is Faster Than You Think. It's laid out in there, God. It's laid out that how the world is going to change, how artificial intelligence and supercomputers, I think they call them quantum computers, and they're only owned by 4 people, the same 4 companies I want to own. Hey, it's a stacked deck, God. And I know how the deck is stacked because I read. I understand the world. I read The Accidental Superpower. I understand how the world got to where it is and how the geopolitical situation is going to scare out. And I understand that demographics aren't equal because there are some countries that are basically nothing more than nursing homes waiting to close their doors because they had a 0 population growth, and then there's another country out there that had a one-child policy from 1975 to 2015. Why did you let that happen, God? Well, I understand you can only stand up there and see what happens, but it's all laid out there. It's not that tough. And this last Monday, I won the trifecta. I mean, my Amazon went down 8% last week, and I increased my holdings by 50 cents. And what do you think happened, God, on Monday? It went back up 8%. It's just that easy. When Usain Bolt runs the 100-meter dash, you bet on Usain Bolt. It's that easy. When Amazon goes and buys into India, you bet on Amazon. When Facebook goes and buys 10% of the largest telecommunication company in India so that they can bring their talents, their skills, to a population that is 4 times the size of ours, you bet on Facebook. Why would I bet on a company that is going to make a truck that's going to run in hydrogen, and they got to build a gas station every 500 miles that those trucks run? Come on, God. That doesn't make any sense. That's the 60-to-1 shot. Give me the favorite. And I'll bet on the favorite, and I'll bet I win. It's just not that difficult. If you will read and you will understand, I don't know, God, have you read The Big Nine? It explains what artificial intelligence is all about. It tells you about big data and who's been collecting all the data since you first went on Facebook. Do you have a Facebook page, God? They've been tracking you since the first day you went on. The first time you searched on Google, God, they have been tracking. They've been gathering this data, and they're going to use that to take the world to the next level. Well, okay, Carrie, if you're so damn smart, what are they going to do with it? Well, I'll tell you what they're going to do with it. Have you heard about the pandemic down here, God? How'd you let that happen? Oh, I know, you just overlook things. But what's going to happen, God, is they're going to take all that talent. They're going to give me a smart bathroom. They're already, Amazon's already making plans to sell me a smart toilet. It analyzes my poop and my pee. I said it. And then I'm going to have a smart toothbrush, and it's going to analyze my saliva. Hell, I'll be able to have a coronavirus test every morning, and it will send that information into the cloud through my phone. And guess who owns the cloud, God? Well, no, it's not you. That we're talking about a different cloud. So in the cloud, there'll be a doctor. We'll call it the bot doc. And he'll analyze my data. He'll compare my data and my poop, my pee, my saliva to millions of other people, to billions of other people around the nation. They'll do it in a nanosecond and come back and tell me one of 3 things. Terry, you got a clean book of health. You can go on a cruise ship. You can go in a restaurant. You can go on a airplane. Or, Carrie, contact your doctor. Probably it's already dialed the number. Or Carrie, we just dispatched an ambulance to your house. Lay down. They'll be there shortly. It's that simple, God. When Usain Bolt runs the 100-meter dash, you bet on Usain Bolt. It's that simple. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, God, and you don't know Usain, Google it. He was the fastest man. I run the 100-meter dash. I'd hate to tell you where I am when he crosses the finish line. God, it's that simple. Give me those companies. Well, that was the conversation I had with God. It was pretty animated, as you can tell, back in March. And that's what I've invested in. And that's what I'm adding to. I've invested in some other stocks that I thought presented an opportunity. But in the long haul, I'm going to end up just owning about maybe 10. I'm looking for a couple other layups, but I'm not investing for tomorrow. I don't really care. Wednesday, when Tesla reports their quarter reports, I don't care. It may go down, it may go up. I don't care. Because I'm investing for 10 years from now. And I just challenge you, go to your charts, look at the companies I'm talking about, Amazon, Google, Tesla, Microsoft, Apple. They have dips. Of course they have dips. But what is the general direction that they're going? It's called up. It's pointing towards heaven. Maybe God's pulling them. Maybe God listened to me. Maybe God invested in them as well. I don't know. But it just seems so damn simple to me. And I appreciate you sending me information and saying, take a look at this one or take a look at that one, because I will. Because I'm looking for the next Amazon. I'm looking for the next Google. I'm sure, but what I also know is Amazon's looking for the next Amazon, and Google's looking for the next Google, and Facebook's looking for the next Instagram, and they'll probably buy them. Now, some of you didn't like that I turned on Live and Go. I had said I thought they were the next Amazon in the medical field. But as a doctor pointed out to me, Google is creating all these wearables that are going to measure our health. Who is it? Google owns Fitbit. Apple owns the Apple Watch. These people got more money, not as much money as God, but they got more money than almost anybody but God. And if Live and Go is what I think it will be, it'll be bought or it'll be duplicated by one of those big six. So that's the way I look at this. I have a tough time thinking sometimes, what am I going to do my video about? You only invest in a few stocks. Well, the fact is you feed me information. That's what this tribe is all about. If you're new to this and you're wondering who the hell is this guy, it's Best of Us Investors. We're a group of people that we're trying to grow to 1 million like minds who are interested in investing. And I want you to think about this. Jeff Bezos, I don't know how many employees he has, but I would imagine when he has his all hands on deck meeting, I think that's what they call it, and brings his top management in, he might have 50, 60, maybe 100 people. He sits down at a table, and as I understand it, somebody makes a presentation. They have to type up a 30-minute read about this is what I'm going to talk about. Think about if you're a part of a group of 1 million people, of 1 million minds that are looking at the stock market every day, who are learning and sharing, what are your limitations? What are your limitations if you belong to a tribe of 1 million people with a common interest and a common goal and a willingness to share and a willingness to help? What are your limitations? I'm going to tell you exactly what your limitations are. They live up here. Your limitations are your unwanted roommate who tells you, you're not worthy of that. You can't do that. You're not smart enough. Maybe it's your dad. Maybe it's your mom. Maybe it was your big brother. But they're unwanted, and you got to get rid of them. And as soon as you do, and as soon as you believe that I'm going to join this damn tribe, and I'm going to see where they can take me, because I'm going to tell you some things that are happening. Some people are writing me and saying, Kerry, I'm from Malaysia, and we need to share your videos with the international world. I got another lady who's writing me, and she's from Korea, and she says, we need to get captions, or we need to get voiceover so the Korean people can learn. Come on. Is that possible? Is that even imaginable? Yes, it is. Everything you can imagine is now possible because of the internet. Everything. So any dream that you have ever had, put it down on a piece of paper and say, this is where I'm going. This is what I want to do. And I'm going to do it. And I'm going to have 1 million people that are going to help me get there because they're unselfish. They've gotten rid of their unwanted roommate. And they're going to help me achieve my goals. Hey, as I said in where did I write that down? I guess it was in that letter. I'm currently the chief of this tribe. You know how old I am. It's a temporary position. It's going to live beyond me. You are going to see something happen. I told my wife the other day, I think I'm a disruptor. I think I'm going to build a tribe of more than 1 million people. And I'm going to disrupt the limitations that people put on themselves. I'm going to show them they can have whatever they want. And if you'll join, and then if as a member you'll help grow the tribe, the world has just opened up to you. Now the decision is, what are you going to do with it?